Yeah, let's get more analysis now from the UK. I can speak to Chris Stokel-Walker. He's a technology journalist and he joins me from Newcastle. Welcome to you, Chris. If I think back to the Cambridge Analytica scandal and Facebook, I mean, we got a hint of it there, didn't we? How social media user data could be used to try, at least, to influence them when it comes to how they vote. Do you see the US politicians' concerns that China might use user data to try and influence what looks like being a very, very tight election?
Well, I think that you touched on it there, where really this isn't a problem, in large part because of the existence of Western social media apps that have the same amount of data collection and the same concerns. So ultimately, I'm always quite confused by this sort of grand scheme to try and ban TikTok, because a lot of the reasons that are given, including those such as getting data trawled and sent to China, is ultimately going to be the same sort of problem that you would have with Facebook or Instagram or any other app. If you're not giving that data to TikTok, you're giving it ultimately to a Western social media company. And if China really wanted to get access to it, it could sign up like many others do and pay to get access to that.
So what do you think is the real concern here then? Why are they so afraid of a foreign social media app?
I think it's partly geopolitics and partly domestic politics. We have seen previous attempts to try and cast TikTok and particularly China as the opponent. And with China, obviously there are many troubling issues with that country. TikTok has obviously got a base in China. It's based from ByteDance, the parent company, which originated in China, still has an office in Beijing, but the company has made great strides to try and westernize and to cut those ties. I think also we have this issue of domestic politics. As you mentioned, we are starting to enter the US presidential election campaign. With that, you need to be seen to be strong on national security. And I think that is partly why maybe we have a cross-party consensus between both Democrats and Republicans in the House of Representatives to try and do this, because ultimately it means that if one of them didn't vote for it, the other side could say, well, these people are weak on China.
There was an incident in 2022 where TikTok employees were found to have used location data from the app to monitor the movement of Forbes magazine journalists. I mean, TikTok they admitted it but dismissed it as well. It's kind of a few bad apples. But in all fairness to them, though, we've seen data that was sold by Facebook to Cambridge Analytica, as I mentioned. Google were fined a record, $391 million for illegal use of user location information. So when you use any of these social media companies, do you just have to accept that you are going to have your data abused?
Yeah, people are the product. Abusing is obviously a very strong word. I'm not sure whether I would necessarily go quite that far, but ultimately we've grown up over the last 20 years in a world of technology and social media where we have very convenient lives. And that is in part because we're not paying for it in one way. We're not giving over money necessarily, but we are allowing these apps to monetize our data. And I think the one good thing out of this, the silver lining, is that we've recognized that this is an issue. I think the problem is we've maybe misdiagnosed the problem here and saying it's TikTok when actually it's probably all of social media.
Greatly appreciate your time, Chris. Chris Stokel-Walker, technology journalist, my guest. Thank you.